Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about a very ancient system of numeration, and that was the Egyptian system and the Egyptian numerals. Now the Egyptians, they followed what is called the additive system of coming up with the value of their numbers. Now the ancient Egyptian writing was known as hieroglyphics, and here I have put together the different numerals in the Egyptian number system. So we have 7 numerals and they are all really like drawings, all right? So it starts, the lowest numeral has a value 1, and it's just a vertical staff, also called a vertical stroke or a staff. And then we have this arch-shaped figure that has a value 10. It's also called a heel bone. And then we have what's called a scroll, right? It's like a coiled rope or a scroll, and that has value 100. Then this design here, this symbol here, is considered to be a lotus flower, picture of a lotus flower, that has value 1000. Then we have a pointing finger is what it was called, that has value 10,000. Then this picture, fish like picture, is really a tadpole, supposed to be a tadpole, and that has value 100,000. And then finally we have what's called an astonished man, is how it is described, and that has value 1 million. So here are all the different symbols in the Egyptian numerals, 7 of them, and these are their corresponding values in the Hindu Arabic system, or the decimal system. And as we see over here, the values increase by multiples of 10. So the first one is 1, then we have a 10, we have 100, 1000. So if you multiply the previous value by 10, you get the next numeral value. All right. So using this information, we will come up with a process of conversion from the Egyptian system to the Hindu Arabic system, or also known as the decimal system. Right. And they used the additive system, the rule of addition. So it's not only using these values, but we will also use the rule of adding the values to come up with the Hindu Arabic, or the decimal equivalent of an Egyptian numeral. All right. So I have an example here to work on. So we have a series of numerals put together here. So we have a coiled rope, 2 coiled ropes followed by 2 arches, and then 3 vertical staffs, right? So what we do to convert this to the Hindu Arabic system is look at the value of each of these numerals, and then we will just add them up. All right. So again, going from right to left, and let me just pull up a pencil here, just a second. All right, going from right to left, this is how I'm going to proceed. And you can actually go from left to right as well, but I want to stay consistent and to avoid any confusion, let's just follow one process. All right, so I'm looking at the first numeral on the extreme right hand side. It is a staff. So that has value 1, correct? So I'm going to write that value here, 1. Then the next one to its right is also a vertical staff. So I'm going to write the value, the decimal equivalent of that. And then we have another staff. So that's 1 again. Then we have an arch here. So that has value. This arch has a value of 10. So there's 10. And then another arch to its right, so that has value 10. And then we have this coiled rope, which is 100. And then on the extreme left hand side, there's another coiled rope, so that's 100. So now that we have listed all these values, all we do is add them up. That's all there is to it. So it's going to be 100 plus 100 plus 10 plus 10 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. So that would make it 223. 223. So the decimal equivalent of this particular numeral out here has a value of 223. All right, now when we work with very large numbers, then sometimes it's better to just multiply. So instead of writing 100 plus 100 plus 10 plus 10, since we have two of these scrolls, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just write it as 2 times 100, right? Plus we have two arches, so 2 times 10 is the value of each arch, so 2 times 10. And then we have 3 of these poles or vertical staff, so that's 3 times 1, which gives us 200 plus 20 plus 3, which is 223. So this is a good way to find the answer quickly if we have a very large number to convert. All right, so for example, over here in example 2, we have a long series of numerals. So in this case, it'll be faster and easier if we just use the multiplication system. All right, although the Egyptian system does not allow multiplication, but just for our convenience, when converting from Egyptian to the decimal system, it'll be quicker because multiplication is the same as adding multiples of a value, isn't it? So over here again, let's look at the reference table here I put together for the different numerals. Again, I'm going to go from the right to the left. All right, again, you can go from the left to the right, but let's just follow one process. All right, so the first one is a 1. So let's write that. So there's 1. All right, now because this is a long list, I'm going to go straight away and start using the multiplication. So we have 1 time 1 pole, so that has value 1. And then we have 3 arches, correct? We have 3 arches over here, and each arch is 10. So I'm going to write 3 times 10. Let's pull up the pencil here. 3 times 10. And then we have 4 coils, correct? These have value. Each of these have a value of 100, right? Coil 100. So 4 of them. So 4 times 100. And then we have 3 tadpoles. So each tadpole has value of 100,000. So 3 times 100,000. And then at the extreme right, we have 3 astonished men. So that's 1 million each, but 3 of them. So I'm going to write it as 3 times 1 million. And now we can just add them up. Add them. Plus. All right. So we have 3 million plus 300,000, right? 300,000 plus 400 plus 30 plus 1, correct? So just add them up now. So 300, this should give us 3 million, all right, sorry, let's start over. So 3,300,000. So 3,300,000 and then 431. So that is the final answer. Okay, if you're working on such problems on exams, please make sure you show the steps, because each step will have points assigned to it, and the final answer is probably worth maybe 1 or 2 points, and if that is wrong, then you get 0 for the whole question. Whereas if you show the individual steps, then you get partial credit for the steps, even if you didn't get the final answer correct. If you've done 90% of the steps correctly, you will get 90% of the points. All right. So this is how you're going to go about converting from the Egyptian numeral system to the Hindu Arabic or the decimal system. Okay.